showed up to grow and to learn. I'd say that that alone is courage. Throughout my life, courage has appeared in many forms. When I entered the field of architecture, for example, that took a lot of courage. When Chris and I moved together from coast to unknown areas, as many of you can relate, that took courage. Having 3 children in 4 years with no family to help us, that took courage. I took flying lessons despite having a fear of heights. Very courageous. And I did something recently that I never ever imagined I would be doing with a couple people in this room. I jumped out of an airplane. Actually, I was pushed out of it. But that's another story. Something you don't know is that despite doing all of those things, one of the things that took the most courage for me was to learn how to speak. You see, I grew up in a home where I didn't feel safe. My dad was an alcoholic, and he was verbally abusive. My mom was a workaholic, and she was almost never around. And when she would come home, she often came home to the raging wrath of my dad, and all I heard was screaming. And being the oldest child, I was afraid, but I became the protector of my 2 younger sisters. I became resilient. Well, some of you may know that at that time, children were meant to be seen and not heard. So silence became my shield. Silence became survival. I was taught to bottle things up inside, to become really small, to become quiet. And I mastered the perfect poker face. Well, there's a time when people can only bottle up so much inside until it erupts. And eventually it did. So it took tremendous courage for me to ask for help, to admit that I don't know how to speak up, to admit that I don't know how to express my feelings or even understand what I was feeling. That's why Toastmasters has become so important to me, because it is a place where I'm learning to use my voice. And along the way, I have learned what my communication style is. And that is a direct communication style. I like to feel in control, and I can get frustrated when I have to depend on others. I thrive in structured, efficient environments, and it doesn't come naturally for me to share my emotions. I'm decisive, independent, focused, and driven. My pace is fast. My decisions are quick, and I care about results. I utilize my direct communication style in organizations such as Toastmasters and our church in leadership positions so that I can help encourage and inspire others. There were times when I thought this direct style was too much, where it made me too much. But now I see that it is part of my courage. It is who I became to survive. It is who I am becoming as I learn to thrive. Why do I do this? Why do I do things that I would rather avoid doing? Why do I push through my fears? I do it for my children, so that they can see a mother who chooses bravery over silence, and so that they can learn that they have a voice that matters. I also she still lives inside of me. Every time I speak, every time I grow, we heal together. And today I want to encourage you. Keep pushing, keep growing, keep fighting for breakthrough. Reconnect with that younger version of yourself and be that person, that brave person that they needed you to be. Be that person.